Hello all, welcome to NetBook. Today I'm planning to show the demo part on Anypoint DataGraph. In my previous video, I explained about Anypoint DataGraph overview and I promised that I will be showing the demo in my next video. In this video, I'm going to present that. So let's start. So the Anypoint DataGraph is a unify many APIs into single graph of the data. That means we can add many APIs into single place, that is unified schema, so that you can access with a single request whatever the information you want from the different APIs. So let's begin. So in my Exchange, I have published different APIs over here: orders API, product APIs, fulfillment API, customer API. I have different APIs which are already available in my Exchange, as well as these applications are running in my runtime also. So I want to get the data from these APIs and I want to give it to my client, whoever is requesting. So how I can expose a single URI? There will be different URLs for these APIs, but I'm going to make all this data available in one place, that is called Anypoint DataGraph. So in Anypoint platform, when you log in, we can see this Anypoint DataGraph. Select Unify and come zoom. I'm going to add one by one these APIs. Maybe I will show a couple of APIs to add it. Then I will explain about, I will be showing that how it will be working over here. To start with that, I'm going to add one API to this Anypoint data graph. Add API. So you can search any API from the Exchange or you can select from the list over here. I'm going to add process customer API over here. Click on configure URL. Then you can select API version and asset version from the drop down. I'm going to select the latest version, confirm the selection. As soon as it is looks good, then we can write a URL over here. Either you can write a new URL over here, or if you have existing URL in API specification, you can take it that API URL also. So I have deployed my application already in a runtime, that is a customer API. I have over here. I'm going to take this URL. This is still API, that is enough. You don't have to add a URL, that is resource. You don't need to add it over here. Select and save. Then click on provide authorization. So in the authorization, if your customer API is expecting any authorization, that we need to select. In case of your customer API is expecting basic auth, you need to provide that. And if it is client ID, secret ID, it is required, you can mention that. Otherwise, if there is no authorization, you can select no auth. As of now, for my APIs, we don't have any authorization. So I clicked on no auth over here. Then click on next preview the schema. So this is the schema. This is unified schema, which we are going to create by adding the existing API data. So if you see that over here, there is address and customer objects. There are two objects which we are going to add it to the unified schema. Now, if I select query over here, we can query two things over here. Customer, that is the customer details, we will get it, and customer by ID. So what is that? It is about my API is exposed. If I open the customer API over here, my API is exposed to get methods over. One is get customer by ID and another one here, get customer. So as of now, the data graph is going to support only the get methods. So those two methods are going to show over here. Now, associated with the data types, it will be shown over here. Click on next to edit the schema in case of if you want to rename the data types or if you want to link these data types with any existing data types or maybe merge with existing data types, then you can do over here. As well as if you don't like to expose your data to the consumer, then you can select hidden over here. Okay. So now I'm going to select address over here and see it is desired status hidden. I want to make it visible. I want to expose this data to the consumer. Similarly, I can select customer details and I can say over here, it is already visible. That is enough. Now I can say enable collaboration. That means we are going to enable the collaboration to access this data to the customers. Now select this one, click on next, and we are going to get this customer details with the customer ID. So the ID is mandatory over here. So I'm going to select ID as a parameter over here, primary key. Click on confirm. So now you can see over here the down, you can make it visible or not visible. So I don't like to expose to the client, then I can select this one as hidden. Okay, that is how we can present over here. We will talk about it later, more on that. So if you want to link any existing data, you can link with this data over here. As well as if you want to merge with any existing data, you can merge with this. But similar types we will be linking. But if it is the same type, we can merge that. Okay. Then add to unified schema. That's it. Now, this is going to add it to the unified schema. That is the whole API data, which is going to have, I won't say data, it is a whole schema, I can say, for your organization. Then click on proceed to unified data, unified schema. This is going to take around 15 minutes, it says, but it won't take that much time. It will take some time to reflect all those changes to the unified schema. That means we are adding address and customer details and these two methods to the unified schema. One more thing I forget to mention, we need to select over here in which environment we are going to add this data. And over here you can see it is showing that updating. As soon as it will be updated to the unified schema, it will show over here as up to date. So we need to wait till up to date to make it the status. So we will wait for that and then we will add it another API. Now we can see the status. The unified schema is up to date. When it is up to date, the data types from the customer APIs are added to the unified schema. Now we can add it another API to the unified schema. So add API. Now I'm going to select orders API, which I want to add it to the unified schema. Click on configure URL and I'm selecting the version over here from the exchange. Click on confirm selection. Then I need to give the order API URL. Let me take it order API URL. So I have over here order API URL. Copy this and put it over here. Then save it. Then I can click on provide authorization. I do not have any authorization details for the other APIs. So I'm selecting as no auth, then preview the schema. So in this step, I'm going to show how we can merge the data types and all. So over here, if you see, I have two methods again, orders API and orders by ID. These are the two methods which are get methods which are showing over here. Now I can select each of these data types and see what data I want to expose to them and what are the similar data types which I can merge it. So click on next to edit schema. Now my unified schema already having the customer object and I have address also. But can I merge them, any of them? Let's see. So if you see that, now I'm going to collaborate with this data order details, enable collaboration, orders by ID, which I'm enabling for collaboration. I'm going to select order ID for the collaboration purpose. Confirm it. Now, over here, these are the order details. I want to show even the billing address, customer details, product, and status also. So those I'm going to enable as visible. Now, what I can do, I have a customer which is part of my orders API, but already my customer object is available in a customer API, which is already added to the unified schema. Can I merge it or link it to that? Yes, I can do that. So you can do this, linking this data over here. You can select here, you can see The customer ID is we are going to link with that. It is exactly same. This is by default. It will be desired. Status will be hidden for the foreign key. Okay. So now that customer details, if you want to rename, you can rename it, or you can keep it the same name. That is what you can do. Now that this is customer details from customer object, that is from the order API. This is customer details, which is from the customer API. Save these changes. Why didn't I merge with these two details? Why I have only linked them? The reason is, if you see, my customer type from the order API has email, first name, phone number, and customer over here, and ID over here, and last name. But my customer details have more details like created on, updated on, address. Those details are already available in a customer details, which is part of a customer API. So that's why I have not merged both of them. It is not the same exactly. It is a similar data. It is there. That's why the similar data I linked with them. Okay. So now billing address. Can I merge it? Yes, I can merge it. The billing address is the data type, which is part of order API, and I have a address which is a part of a customer API. Both are exactly the same. Okay, you can see that exactly it is same, but it is having the different name over here. Either I can link it or merge with them. So I'm going to merge with that because of this is address line one is there, but name over here. That's fine. So I can merge with that two datas as a single data type. Let's see, confirm merging. So now you are merging the data from the billing address to address data type. Click on confirm. Now, if I see that in the merging section over here, current data type is billing address, the unified schema is address, both are merging into the unified schema address. So now click on add to unified schema. Now proceed to the unified schema. It will take some time to update your existing unified schema with the new data types which are taken from the order API. So you can see now unified schema have these are the different data types which are available right now. So let's wait for updating this unified schema. Then we will test it and see how the data can be accessible. Like this, we can add as many as APIs we want to add it to the unified schema. Now we can see that it is up to date. That means these data types are added to the unified schema. That means we can access the data from unified schema from the two APIs, that is from the customer API and the orders API. Let's run the query. Click on run to run a query. Now we can see that we can run the query over here and get the data from the two APIs with a single request. So we can write a query over here. This should be query language, that is graph query it is going to use over here internally. So I can control space you can use to get the data over here. So I want to get a customer by ID. Okay. So I'm going to enter something over here and it is ID. I need to pass it, right? Let me take one of the ID over here from my old request. So this is one of the ID which I'm going to take it. So this should be string. And from here, whatever the data I want to access, that I can select over here. I want to select first name, last name, ID, only these three elements I want it from the customer API. So let's run the query now. Run. You can see the data we have received, those details of related to the customer ID. Now, even I want to get order details, order by ID. Okay. So this one, I'm going to pass it ID over here and I need to get some order ID. Let me get some order ID, some valid order ID. I'm going to search it. So I'm going to search with this order ID. So from the order API, I want list of products and I want the status of the order. Okay, that is the details which I wanted. So this product is an array. So it is going to show that like this. So now run this query. You can see that now this is order by ID data. It is in progress, this order ID, product ID. And if you want to get it some more details from the order API, like order ID, then the customer details also, if you want to get it, you can take it this way. And from the customer API, it's not a customer API. From the order API, we have a customer email ID. I want to get it from here. Then run this data, and you can see this data is retrieving. So that means this data is retrieving from the customer API, and this data we are retrieving from the order API. So you can see over here all the details, whatever you want to access. Control space, when you add it, automatically it is going to display over here. And that will be giving some suggestions over here, what element you want to access it. So I want to access the address. So from the address, what I want to access, that field you can give it over here. For example, I'm going to select address line 1 over here and run it. See this, see the address line 1. And if I'm going to access one more element, if you see what I'm going to do, there is a name. Can I search it with this? Run it, and you see name is going to come as null. The reason is this name is we linked address object and building address. These two objects we merged into single object. But this name is available only in a billing address, not in not in the customer API. So that's why it is showing as a null over here. But if we access that same element over here, so now I'm going to add over here address. Let me add it. Billing address, and I'm going to add a name over here. Now, if I run the query, I will get the name over here. You can see. So that means whatever the data we need, only those elements we can get it from here. This is exposed as the API again. So you can see that manage credentials so that you can see over here those credentials and hope this is clear, this demo, and it will be useful. I can explore more on it. I'm going to present how I can test this API through the Postman, and some of the limitations. I'm going to talk about it in my next video. So please keep watch NetBook. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe NetBook.